Time is the one currency you can never earn back. Yet, most people spend it as if it were infinite. They drift through their days, postponing what matters, convincing themselves that they'll start someday. But someday is a mirage, always out of reach, always fading into the distance. The truth is, your life is not measured in years. It's measured in moments. And every moment you waste is a moment you trade for nothing. Look closely at those who have built something extraordinary. They are not gifted with more hours than you. They have simply chosen differently. So ask yourself, how much longer will you wait? How many more days will you let slip through your fingers before you finally take control? Because the cost of inaction is not just lost time. It's a life that never becomes what it could have been. Make the choice. While you still can. We live under a grand illusion, the belief that there will always be more time. More time to chase our dreams. More time to become the person we aspire to be. So we delay. We say, not today. I'll start when I have more energy, more confidence, more certainty. But the days turn into weeks, the weeks into years, and before we know it, the window of opportunity has quietly closed. The harshest truth is not that life is short. It's that most people realize this too late. Because time does not pause. It does not wait for you to feel ready. It moves forward, indifferent, relentless. Look back at the moments you lost to hesitation. The times you wanted to act but didn't. The times you knew what needed to be done, yet you let distraction or fear pull you away. If you continue down this path, where does it lead? There is no right time. There is only now. And those who understand this, they don't wait. They move. And that is the first step, seeing time for what it truly is, the most valuable thing you will ever own. And the most fragile. Every moment you waste carries a cost. Not just in time, but in potential. Think about it. What could you have built by now if you had started when you first felt the desire? What skills could you have mastered? What strength could you have forged? But instead, time slipped through the cracks. Not stolen, given away. Handed over to distractions, to hesitation, to mindless indulgences that gave you nothing in return. And here is the painful truth, time never comes back. You can rebuild lost wealth, regain lost strength, even mend broken relationships. But time. Once it is gone forever. Yet most people act as if they have an unlimited supply. They scroll, they delay, they say, I'll do it later. Not realizing that later is the most dangerous lie of all. Because every day spent waiting is a day that could have been a step forward. A day where you could have moved closer to your goals, sharpened your mind, strengthened your body. And if you think this doesn't matter, ask yourself this: where will your life be in 5 years if you continue wasting time the way you do now? Success doesn't belong to those who wish. It belongs to those who understand this cost, and refuse to pay it. Time is not something you have. It is something you use. And how you use it will shape the course of your life. Most people drift, pulled by impulses, reacting instead of deciding. They wake up and let the world tell them how to spend their hours. Notifications, distractions, fleeting pleasures, each one stealing a piece of their future. They tell themselves, I'll get to it later. Tomorrow, I'll start. Just one more episode, one more scroll, one more hit of comfort before I begin. But tomorrow turns into next week. Next week turns into next year. And before they know it, they are standing in front of a mirror, wondering where all their time went. But there is another way. The people who rise, the ones who achieve, who build, who transform their lives, they guard their time like it is sacred. Because it is. They know that every wasted hour is an hour that could have been used to build something great. Every moment spent on distraction is a moment stolen from their future. Every excuse is a chain that keeps them trapped where they are. So, if you want to change your life, change how you spend your time. Start here, audit your time. Be brutally honest. Look at your days, every hour, every moment. Where does it go? How much of it is invested in your future? How much is thrown away on things that do not serve you? Sit down with a pen and paper. Write it out. Track a full day, a full week. Not what you think you do, but what you actually do. Do you spend hours lost in meaningless scrolling? Do you delay your goals because distractions seem more urgent? Do you wake up each day with intention, or do you let the day decide for you? Once you see the truth, you will realize something powerful: you are not out of time. You are out of focus. The problem isn't that you don't have enough hours in the day. The problem is where those hours go. And that is something you can change. Look at the people who have built extraordinary lives. They have the same 24 hours as you. The difference? They command their time. They don't wait for motivation. They don't make excuses. They don't give away their most precious resource to meaningless distractions. And neither should you. So today, decide. Take control. Because if you don't, someone else will. Your time is yours. Use it wisely. Greatness is not built in a single moment of inspiration. It is built in the quiet, unseen hours, through the small, disciplined actions repeated every single day. Most people believe success comes from one big break, one lucky chance, one monumental leap. But that is a myth. A fantasy that keeps them waiting instead of acting. The truth? The people who achieve extraordinary things are the ones who master the ordinary. They don't wait for the perfect time. They don't wait for motivation. They simply do what needs to be done, over and over again, until results become inevitable. This is where most fail. They start something, full of energy, full of hope, but when the excitement fades, they stop. They don't see results fast enough, so they quit. They let their emotions dictate their actions, instead of their commitment. And so, they stay in the same place, year after year, wondering why nothing changes. But those who rise, those who build, who create, who transform themselves, they understand something deeper. They understand that progress is not about giant leaps. It is about the small steps, taken consistently, without fail. Consider this. If you improve by just 1% every day, you won't feel much difference at first. It will seem small, insignificant. But over time, that 1% compounds. After a year, you won't be 365% better. You will be 3,800% better. This is the power of compounding effort. The power of showing up, day after day, even when you don't feel like it. It applies to everything. You don't become strong by lifting a heavy weight once. You become strong by lifting every day. You don't become a master by practicing when you feel like it. You master something by practicing even when you don't. You don't build discipline by making a big change one time. You build it through the daily grind, through the small choices, through the moments no one sees. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't. It isn't intelligence. It isn't talent. It is consistency. The greatest athletes don't train when they feel motivated. The greatest artists don't create only when inspiration strikes. The greatest leaders don't act only when they're in the mood. They show up no matter what. Because they understand this universal law, your actions shape your future. And the smallest action, repeated consistently, will always outperform the biggest action taken only once. So, ask yourself. What are you repeating every day? Are your habits leading you toward growth or decline? Are you getting 1% better, or 1% worse? Because your life is the result of what you do, not once, but every single day. And here's the hard truth: if you're not willing to commit to the small steps, you will never reach the big goals. So today, start small. But start. Do one push-up. Read one page. Take one step toward your dream. Then do it again tomorrow. And the day after that. And again. And again. Not because it's easy. Not because it's fun. But because this is the path to mastery. And those who walk this path, they don't need to chase success. Success comes to them. Now, we arrive at the final step. The moment of decision. The question is simple: will you do what it takes? Everything you've heard today, everything we've uncovered, it all comes down to one decision. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Right now. Because the future isn't waiting for you. It's being written, moment by moment, choice by choice. And in this moment, you have two paths before you. One is the easy road. The road of hesitation. The road where you tell yourself, I'll start later. I'll change when the time is right. But we both know how that story ends. Another day passes. Another excuse is made. And nothing changes. Or, there's the other path. The one that few take. The path of responsibility. Of action. The path where you decide, once and for all, that you are done waiting. Done hesitating. Done making excuses. This is the moment. Not because it's comfortable. Not because you're ready. But because you are done living below your potential. No more wasted time. No more half-hearted efforts. No more watching others build their dreams while you stand still. This is where it begins. Because success, it is never given. It is never handed out to the lucky few. It is taken by those who decide. So what will you do? Will you take control? Will you step forward? Will you rise? Not next year. Not next month. Right now. Because nothing changes until you do. If this message spoke to you, don't just listen, take action. Hit that like button. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's one action you will take today? And if you're ready to stop waiting and start winning, subscribe now. This journey is just beginning. And I'll be right here, pushing you forward.